this. LeBron James, a step closer to making his season debut. Remember, he's been sick. That's a nerve condition that can affect your back, your glutes, your legs. He's not been traveling with the team since his diagnosis while he recovers. And Shams reported on Wednesday that he's not going to go on the Lakers' 5-game upcoming road trip. But what is the latest that you're hearing here, Shams, on his recovery and his progress?
LeBron James has been fully cleared for full contact basketball activities, and the Lakers will be reevaluating him in about 1 to 2 weeks. So like you just mentioned, Malika, he won't be traveling on the Lakers' 5-game week-long road trip that starts in Atlanta this weekend. But this now sets the stage for him to progress to 5-on-5 live action, potentially as soon as next week, maybe with the G League South Bay team. He has been doing individual work. I'm told even some one-on-one action recently. But the next step for him is to do 5-on-5. It could come next week or when the Lakers come back from their road trip on November 16th. Then maybe you see him get in with the main team. But the Lakers and LeBron James are still operating that he will be making his season debut at some point here in November, around mid-month. But listen, we're in uncharted territory with a player that's about to turn 41 next month and in year 23.
Oh, yeah. 1 to 2 weeks is what you had posted on social media for a reevaluation. So we are inching closer to seeing LeBron James make that historic debut this season. Shams, thank you so very much. I want to bring it inside our Los Angeles studio here with Bobby Marks and Kendrick Perkins. Perk, we're hearing we're one step closer to seeing LeBron after what we saw last night.
I bet we are. I bet we are. I want to come back, too. After watching the Lakers look like eye candy, yeah, he want to come back. After watching Luka playing the way that he's playing at an MVP level, Austin, him, Reeves doing his thing, playing at an all-NBA level, when LeBron gets back, it's just going to elevate the Lakers even more. Now, I believe he's going to take a lesser role, right? I believe he's going to become the third option on the team behind the best duo in the league in Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. That's what I do believe.
I don't know about that.
And that's okay. I mean, look, we could debate this another day. Here's why I'm saying this. LeBron James could impact the game in so many areas. Do I think he needs to be the primary ball handler? Absolutely not. But we could see LeBron James at the 4 position being a screener, being a roller, right? And being a guy that could play off the ball, a spot-up three-point shooter. His percentages have been up through the roof his last 2 years. So when I say a lesser role, I'm just saying not dominating the ball as we grown accustomed of watching LeBron dominate the ball, because he got 2 guys that he trusts, Luka and Austin Reeves.
I think what's it going to do to the starting lineup? I think that's going to be the biggest question here.
Sure.
You're probably going to see Marcus Smart likely come off the bench now, who's now been starting. You put LeBron next to Rudy Gobert. It's basically the same lineup we saw last year. Now you just take Jackson Hayes out and put DeAndre Ayton here. But here's the deal, Perk. If you can acquire a player in November and give up nothing, who's averaged 24, 8, and 8 last year, you could do it, and he will fit in seamlessly here. I think the best thing, Malik, also is that they've had 7 different starting lineups to start this year in 9 games. It's almost a blessing in disguise that he's been out, because it has given J.J. Redick a lot of optionality to kind of mix and match as far as with his roster.
You know what else is giving J.J. Redick an opportunity to do? Develop something that the Lakers haven't had in 5 or 6 years, an identity and culture. And now Braun is sitting back and saying, man, you know what? We actually got something. We actually got these guys playing. JJ actually have these guys playing at an elite level. So, again, adding those 24 points, adding those 7.5 to 8 rebounds, that's going to always be there. It might be a dip in an assist because he's going to be more of the receiver more than a quarterback.
You're saying take it. So Luka was undefeated against Wemby as a Maverick, and last night we got our first matchup with Luka versus Wemby, Luka in purple and gold, and here is how it went down. It wasn't the best night for Victor, but we did get a couple of highlights. Here we got a jam. Bronny James made a business decision there.
He's going to make highlights by accident. Did
you ever have to defend him, Robin?
No, I never did. I was on the bench. I watched Brooke defend him, and that gave me a lot of pleasure.
Well, as much pleasure as this move from Luka gave LeBron and Austin Reeves there. Love that reaction on the bench. But this might have been the highlight of the night here. How did he find Rui on that perk?
It looked like
I don't know. It's only a few players that can make that pass.
It looked like an accident until it got to Rui's hand.
He said, no, that's all vision, all goggles. Luka doing the celebration there. Also, he was connecting with his big men all night, though. Here in the third quarter, Doncic finds DeAndre Ayton here for a nice lob.
He's been great for Ayton. He's been very great for Jackson Hayes.
Yeah, Jackson
Trying to unlock
Hayes.
Jackson Hayes.
Throwing it down. Luka now has 6 alley-oop assists this season. That's tied with Cade Cunningham for the most in the NBA. The fourth quarter, this is where things got good. All right, we got 2.5 to play here. The Lakers down 2. Luka Doncic hits the step-back 3.
Over a tough defender, Stephon Castle, the separation.
That's why he's got the mean mug here. And then watch Victor here. He drives, barrels into Rui for the charge. Just one more look at this one here. Yep, Rui's definitely set. So Wemby registers his first career game with multiple charges, and on that play, he fouls out. So 6 seconds left. The Spurs down 4. Stephon Castle misses the 3. Kelly Olynyk cleans it up, puts it in. 1.2 seconds left. Watch Marcus Smart's foot here. His left foot not behind the line all the way. So it's going to be Spurs ball underneath the basket, and Luka Doncic can't believe it. Marcus thinking not so smart, but final chance here, Julian Champagnie can't get it to go, but he is fouled here on this play. 2/10 left. Another look at this one. So Champagnie heads to the free throw line. Okay, he misses the first. Lakers fans start to celebrate, so the Spurs need a tip in on the second. A good miss here. Keldon Johnson almost tips it in.
That's no time.
Can't quite get it to go.
They lucky Wemby wasn't on the floor for that tip in.
That's true. That's true.
Now, Luka has now scored 200 points in 5 games this season, 40 a game. That's the third most points in the first 5 games of a season in NBA history, behind only a pair of Wilt games. Whenever you're in Wilt company, you're doing all right here. Perk, what else is there to say about Luka's start to the season here?
Where you want me to start? Luka is home. Luka is finally home. The furniture's moved in. The dishes are up in the cabinets. He's real cozy, and you can relate to this as men. You know what I mean? He's finally being able to lay on the couch, rub his feet together, and pass gas in his house. Damn it, he's getting it in.
I didn't know that's the metaphor we were going with.
And look, yes, he's going to have the points, the assists, the rebound. We get that. Last night, I was expecting Wemby to be the best defensive player on the floor. That happened to be Luka. 5 steals, 2 blocks. Luka Doncic all over the place, making the impact. I'm saying, Luka is really out here, and he's playing with this type of force, and he's on a mission. And we talk about the revenge tour. Yes, that was a prime example last night, primetime action going against an elite team in the West and in the league in the San Antonio Spurs.
What did you see, Robin?
I saw the Lakers. They've been comfortable. And that's what you were talking about. Last season, you could tell Luka wasn't comfortable.
Right.
And this season,
Yep.
they're playing, I like to call it's snow time. It feels like, it's not quite showtime, but they've got something going on the court. It's fun. There's energy.
And you're doing snow angels. That's the idea?
Absolutely, yeah.
There you go. Well, you mentioned that you thought Wemby was going to be the best defensive player on the floor. Luka Doncic put on a clinic, really, on both ends here. Wemby, he did go for 19 points, 8 boards, just 1 block, which by Wemby standards, all amongst his lowest outputs in these categories this season. So let's take a listen together to Victor on his takeaway from this game.
Feels like the game is going fast somehow. Feels like the game has, as we got better as a team, and as all of us got better individually as well, it's like the opponents have stepped up in some ways defensively, and I feel in a way that the game feels fast right now. So we're gonna catch up on it, of course, but it's on us to see how quick.
I always appreciate how insightful Victor is right after games, right? And he was playing at an otherworldly pace to start the season. In the past 2 games, maybe he's come down to earth just a little bit. But again, this is all by Victor standards. So, Robin, when he talks about the speed of the game, can you tell us what that actually means when he says he feels like he's getting sped up?
I know that's something that he was talking about with Mitch Johnson at the beginning of the season. They were emphasizing. And appreciate it, Craig. That's my vet. He's still a vet. And what he's talking about, he's got to take his time to survey the floor because he's going to have a whole lot of defenses thrown at him. And the Lakers are throwing, I think they had Marcus Smart, they had a bunch of little guys on him.
Right.
And what he needs to focus on is finding out where that help is coming from.
Right.
Because if he draws 2, he's got to get off of it.
So what does that actually look like on the floor? Let's take a look here together of what exactly that looks like. So, Robin, this is what you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Walk us through it.
Marcus Smart's there. He's trying to make him uncomfortable. And the second one, he catches it. You turn face. Young fella's pulled all the way over, and Keldon Johnson is wide open in the middle of the paint. But Wemby hasn't turned to face the basket.
Right.
And that's something I had to learn to do as a young big. Now, I was never at his usage rate, but just turn around, take a look, and survey the court. See how the defense is playing you.
And then what do you see here, Perk?
Well, one, look at the fight that Rui's putting up.
Yeah.
Okay, he forces him off the block. Look, this is part of being great. You're going to attract a whole lot of hands and bodies. So the trap is here. The next step is being able to make guys better. That pass is not it. Now, I will say this. This is what I expected, right? Teams are going to trap them. All great bigs have went through this and had to learn. De'Aaron Fox is going to help him in this category when he returns.
I'm very curious. What it seems to me is that when he's saying the game is sped up, doubles are coming at him faster, right? That's what it seems like he's saying.
And the worst thing in the world, and Big Robin to tell you this, is that we up top all day. But when the guard's getting into your legs, that is a big man worst nightmare. So again, it's about putting him in position of where he can't be doubled. You saw Michael Malone. He used to put Jokic at the free throw line. KD started going to the free throw line. So because it's hard to double at that angle, but you need a point guard out there on the floor.
Right.
Because Stephon Castle is young to help him and put him in those positions.
Just help him get a little bit more organized. Do you feel the same way? I would think that, when you got a smaller guy on you, just turn around and shoot over him. It's not that easy.
It's not something you're accustomed to. You're used to guarding a big guy, like Perk said. But when you get a guard, it makes you second guess yourself a little bit.
Here's what I know is going to happen, right? Because we know Victor, ultimate competitor here. What's going to happen next for Victor? He's going to study the film. He's going to obsess over how he can get better. That is what's going to happen next. I don't know what's going to happen next here, though. So why don't we play that game? Day-to-day starts right now. We begin our show with breaking news out of Brooklyn. Former NBA player and assistant coach Damon Jones appeared in federal court today for 2 separate arraignments, pleading not guilty to money laundering and wire fraud charges. The cases, they stem from an FBI investigation into illegal gambling, alleging that Jones shared insider NBA information for bets and participated in rigged poker games. So now bringing in our ABC News chief investigative correspondent from outside the courthouse, Aaron Katersky. Aaron, what can you tell us about today's arraignments?
Damon Jones sat at the defense table before a federal judge, Malika, pleading not guilty to a couple of conspiracy charges in the first case related to the illegal poker games, when it was said that he used his celebrity as a former NBA player, namely for the Cleveland Cavaliers, to lure unsuspecting players to these rigged games. And federal prosecutors said he was in touch with one of the main organizers who actually supplied the altered shuffling machine that helped these guys allegedly cheat. And Damon Jones was what prosecutors called one of the face cards. His face got high rollers to these tables, and they were defrauded out of millions, prosecutors said. He's still in court, pleading not guilty to conspiracy charges in the second case, alleging that he provided inside information about an injury to LeBron James before a 2023 game to a sports bettor.
Okay, so Aaron, what happens next in this case?
So a federal judge said that even though Jones pleaded not guilty today, he is considering whether to engage in plea talks to actually change his plea, plead guilty to at least some of the indictment, and try and resolve the case before it goes to trial. That kind of a deal could require him to cooperate against some of the 30-odd other defendants in the case. And remember what prosecutors have said about Damon Jones. He was there for both of these schemes, and so it's possible he could name additional names. It's also possible he could give up information about some of his co-defendants, like, say, Chauncey Billups, who's due here for his arraignment later this month.
Aaron Katersky, our ABC News chief investigative correspondent, thank you so much for your time. As you mentioned, Billup's arraignment is slated for November 24th, and then Terry Rozier's is scheduled for December 8th. That's in federal court, also in Brooklyn. So for more on how this impacts the league moving forward, we're joined by David Purdom and our Shams Charania. Shams, I'm going to start with you here because you reported that a congressional committee met with NBA officials following these indictments. So what more can you tell us about that meeting that unfolded? What took place there?
Malika, the congressional committee called the House of on Energy and Commerce met with league officials on Wednesday afternoon for about an hour in Washington, D.C. Adam Silver was not there, but a group of league officials were there to meet with these congressional members, specifically discussing the NBA's partnership with sportsbooks, how you can prevent the illegal use of non-public information, and how the NBA handles its own investigations into sports betting. I am told the league was cooperative in briefing the congressional members. The sides had productive conversations, and this congressional committee plus a separate Senate committee are both researching NBA protocols. Talks are going to continue between the government, between the NBA, as well as the sports books. And here you somewhat have the NBA on the front lines of an issue around sports books and prop bets and how the sports books and the leagues can work to really regulate that. And then from the league's perspective, how do they handle injury reporting that has an impact on sports betting?
Yeah, it feels like this is not the last time an incident like this could come up. And so the league having to have steps and procedures in place is going to be paramount moving forward. David, where does the NBA stand with the sports books in terms of addressing the integrity issues that we're seeing come up here?
Yeah, the NBA has partnerships with over a dozen sportsbooks, including the two biggest as their co-official sponsors, FanDuel and DraftKings. They remain in ongoing conversations. They're always kind of looking at the betting menus, trying to identify which types of bet offerings may be the most vulnerable to manipulation. Before the season, they actually asked their sportsbooks to not take any wagers, not offer wagering on will a player miss or make a free throw. They didn't want them taking bets on whether they would commit a foul or whether they would commit a turnover. And just today, the New York State Gaming Commission reached out to the NBA and said, hey, we have this lever in our statutes where the leagues can come to us and say, we're not comfortable with these types of bets. So now we're going to see if the NBA is going to reach back out and execute some of those levers that they have to control the betting menu.
Okay, and as they do, we will certainly continue to follow this story as it unfolds. David, thank you so much. Shams, please don't go too far because I want to get to some news that we're following this. University 16-year NBA vet Robin Lopez is joining us right here on NBA Today. And look at that jacket. He's already rocking a company man, already rocking Disney. Robin, welcome to the show. It is so good to have you here.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Big Perk.
What's up? I was getting up about to wrestle with you a little bit, and I thought, no, I'm good.
That would bring back a lot of memories, wouldn't it?
Did y'all coordinate this? We got the Oklahoma City Thunder championship jacket, and then we have a Donald Duck jacket?
Yeah, there's a lot of coordination. You don't see all the hidden messages there?
Well, what do you say we start the show heading to your and my old stomping grounds? Why don't we go to the Pacific Northwest? That's where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the undefeated Thunder, they rolled right on into Portland here. We're going to pick this one up, Perk, in the second quarter. The Thunder up a ho-hum 20. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, signature little fadeaway.
Has the best mid-range game in the entire league. Sorry, Katie.
35 points, 9 rebounds. Nothing you can do. Drew Holiday, though, giving the Blazers some really good minutes, Bobby.
He has been terrific for the leadership, especially in the light of Chauncey Billups, the leadership on the court for this young Trailblazer team.
And then here come the Trailblazers, just like that. By the way, Denny Avdia, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists in this game. The Trailblazers leading the way, but the Thunder don't go away quietly here, Robin.
Oh, never. But you know what? This Blazers team, they've been sneaky throughout the beginning of the season. They got some good wins, the Lakers, the Nuggets, and perhaps.
Just when you think the Thunder's done, you can't quite be sure, but the Trailblazers hold on to get the win here. Joe's foot's on the line. so he'd only get 2 free throws anyway. The Blazers, they win 121-119. They give the Thunder their first loss of the season. Now, Oklahoma City, they take 20-point leads all the time, right? But they don't lose them very often. This was just their third blown 20-point lead in the last 3 seasons during a time in which they have taken a league-best 85 leads like that. So Oklahoma City's historic start to the season, it now includes a loss to the Trailblazers. But what have you seen from the Thunder here, Robin? Because you've been impressed by them.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost impressive in the way they kind of embrace the mundane. They go out there every night, and it's like clockwork for them. I watched the Clippers game the other night. Any few guesses why. But what I saw was the Clippers, they have some new additions. There was a little bit of confusion for them on the court on some plays with their rotations and stuff. But the Thunder, they knew exactly what they were going to do every single play, it felt like. There was confidence in that comfortability.
Well, I didn't expect them to go 82-0, okay?
You were talking, are they going to get off to 70-0 last night?
They might. But what I'm witnessing from the Thunder once is still the best team in the NBA, with the best player in the NBA, and their depth. They're deeper than the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean combined.
What about the Mariana Trench?
Yeah, that too. You can add that part too. Here's why I say that, right? Last night, I'm not making any excuses, but these are facts. No Luke Dortz, no Chet Holmgren, no J-Dub, and they still go in there and compete, knowing that every single night you're going as the champs, you're going to get everybody's best shot. Right. This little nugget as well. Give some people some history because they don't understand back-to-backs. They had a late start against the Clippers the night before at 8 o'clock. They probably got into Portland at 2 o'clock. The fact that they went in there and competed at that level and that depth is crazy. And SGA, Finals MVP, usage rate last year. He haven't missed a single game.
We do have a rule, though, on this show. We do like to get to the winners. And the Portland Trailblazers, they deserve some credit for the early goings of the season, Bob.
They do. You know, they were a little bit criticized going out and getting Drew Holiday, especially a team that a lot of us probably weren't projected to compete for a play-in or for a playoff spot. But when you look at what Holiday's been able to do, and Shaedon Sharpe and Tumani Kamara, and they've now Donovan Clingan at center replacing DeAndre Ayton. It's a good story early on in the year, and they compete. They compete their tails off, and we saw that last night coming back from that 20-plus deficit.
The Trailblazers and Oklahoma City Thunder, one of 11 games on the slate last night, so let's catch you up on the action. First up, I feel like Robin has a good one of these. Detroit basketball. How'd I do?
That's so old.
Cade Cunningham, 31 points, 10 assists. Jalen Duren, though, feeling 22 points, 22 rebounds in the Pistons win over the Jazz. So, Perk, how much you love watching this duo?
I love it. I mean, one of the best duos in the game. Cade Cunningham is a top 10 player, and Jalen Duren has emerged. He is one of the best bigs in the game. I call him a throwback big because he loved that glass and he loved hanging around that paint, finishing them with authority.
Hence the throwback chant for Detroit basketball. All right, now to Denver. That's where Nikola Jokic messed around and got his 5th triple-double of the season in the Nuggets win over the Heat. Robin, what was it like playing against the Joker?
I had some flashbacks last night. PTSD, let me tell you. I mean, he's so difficult because if you throw a small ball center out there, he's going to take you into the post. And what he'd do with a guy like me, take me to the elbow, take me to the three-point line, and all of a sudden, I'm guarding pick and roll, but I'm the guy being screened. I don't have any experience with that. Sometimes Yanni maybe, but otherwise, I'm throwing my hands up. I don't know what to do.
We won't make you relive this any further. We'll move on to Cleveland. We'll throw back again. Cleveland, this is for you. Donovan Mitchell on his scoring outburst last night. Whoever that is, let us know, because Donovan Mitchell was clearly fired up. He dropped a season-high 46 points. Darius Garland added 8 in his season debut with the Cavs. Bobby, have you ever been motivated like that by a fan?
Oh, social media at its best. I feel like Donovan Mitchell there, what he was talking about as far as, but I couldn't go out and drop 45-plus there. 64. Last 2 games, 64%, 53% from the field. Welcome back, Darius Garland and Jared Allen.
It's good to see them whole, but this is a team that is measured in the postseason, as we know. All right, now to Sacramento. That's where Russell Westbrook made a bold proclamation. Check it out.
Humbly speaking, I'm the best rebounding guard ever. So when the ball come across the rim, I'm going to get it.
Well, he did have 23 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists for his first triple-double with the Kings in a win. Robin, you played with Russ in Washington. How did he impact your game?
I mean, normal Russ doesn't need any motivation. He's already a battery. But when you give him a reason to go out there and play, he takes a whole nother level. What I witnessed is just that trickle down effect of that energy. There would be nights when I, Perk talked about back-to-backs. I maybe felt like I wasn't ready to play. I wasn't quite ready to get out there. But when you're playing with Russ, he brings that energy for everybody. It's intensely contagious.
And with his 16 rebounds, he passed Richard's old teammate, Jason Kidd, for the most rebounds by a guard in NBA history. So that's 8,734 boards for a player that is listed at 6'4". So congratulations to Russell Westbrook. He's going to turn 37 next week.
Oh,
He's
boy.
Still doing this. Now to the Garden. That's where we saw the return of Ant-Man here. Returning from injury, the Timberwolves visiting Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. Of course, we always revisit the trade on this day when these two teams play each other. Anthony Edwards not missing a step here, Robin.
No, I would not want to be guarding that right now.
The Timberwolves up 7 early. And then early in the second quarter here, Bobby. Knicks up 4. Karl Anthony Towns post move on his old teammate there.
There's that bully ball. We talked about bully ball, right? Bully ball right around the rim.
Bully ball, daddy ball, whatever it is. I like that from Karl Anthony Towns' ball.
How about 15 points, 10 rebounds for Towns in the game? And then Brunson pulls up, hits the three-pointer, 23 and 10. The Knicks up by 11 here. So let's go ahead to the fourth quarter. The Knicks up 9. OG Anunoby splits the defense, layup, and one, Robin.
I thought it was a travel on the catch, but, it was a good play nonetheless.
I thought it was 25 points and 8 rebounds for Anunoby. The Knicks up 12 after the free throws. This is a nice moment, though. Edwards tossing his jersey to a fan that's clearly moved by it. The Knicks go on to win this one. And it was just 2 seasons ago that the Timberwolves boasted the best defense in the NBA. They were still very good at 6th last year. They've been the 4th worst in the league in the early goings here. So something to keep an eye on. That's been part of their identity, is they've been a defensive stalwart. Let's see if they can get back to that as the season continues.
He was released on a $200,000 bond. He is accused of providing privileged NBA information for bets and for taking part in rigged poker games. We now welcome in ABC News Chief's investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, who was in the courtroom when Jones pled not guilty. Aaron, can you describe exactly what you saw?
Yeah, he's still inside. In fact, Damon Jones sat in a courtroom with his attorney, Kenneth Montgomery, pleading not guilty to those conspiracy charges that each come with a potential penalty of 10 to 20 years in prison. It was a very quick arraignment on the first case, the one charging him with luring unsuspecting poker players to rigged tables. The gambling apparatus was allegedly altered. The shuffling machines were rigged. There was a table where you could see through to the cards. And according to the indictment, Damon Jones used his celebrity to lure these players that were eventually defrauded out of millions. He pleaded not guilty to the conspiracy charges associated with that case. And now he's in a separate courtroom to plead guilty to conspiracy charges related to the sports betting allegations, in which he's accused of tipping off sports bettors that LeBron James wasn't going to play in a Lakers game against the Milwaukee Bucks back in February of 2023. He's going to walk out of court, released on a $200,000 bond secured by his parents, putting up their Houston home as collateral. And Christine, federal prosecutors revealed during the hearing that he is engaging in plea talks, so it's possible that he will arrange to plead guilty to all or some of the indictment and avoid going to trial. But that may be a ways off.
Okay, so certainly more to come in the future. Aaron, thank you. For more, let's bring in ESPN legal analyst Ryan Smith. So based off of what occurred in the courtroom, what are the next steps moving forward?
So right now, it's all about starting the clock for this case to begin. So you talk about things like discovery, which is the most important part of this. We've seen, a lot of people have seen the indictment, the accusations that Jones is facing, but there's so much more information, evidence the government has. They have to turn that over, and the defense turns over what it has. Also, status conferences, soon to set a trial date, and there will be motions filed. His side might try to file a motion to dismiss, a motion to suppress evidence, things that help him as they proceed to a trial. Now, Aaron talked about discussions happening. That does happen as part of this, but we'll have to see where that goes. But all of this is really about discovery at this point. Get the information the government has and move forward, and eventually soon set a trial date.
And those are those plea discussions that he was talking about, correct, with Aaron?
Yeah, the plea discussions are interesting because it's not even so much a plea deal, it's a proffer, which means essentially he would, if this is what's happening, he goes in, if he agrees to, he tells them everything he knows. if you play this out and he decides to go this route, he would plead guilty. And then because he gave this information, prosecutors would then reach out to the judge sentencing him saying lessen his sentence. But that's a ways off. It said Aaron was talking about how they might be having some of these discussions.
Yeah.
So it's very early days.
Okay, so meanwhile, Chauncey Billups, he's also charged in the wide-ranging scheme to rig underground poker games.
Yeah.
How do you expect him to plead?
This is really interesting because Chauncey Billups is accused of being the face card, which is essentially I'm the guy who brings in the victims, and the victims are then bilked out of this money because of these rigged poker games. Chauncey Billups will essentially, I think, try to say, I wasn't part of the conspiracy. And what does that mean? He didn't agree to this. He didn't know anything about the scheme. This would be his defense. And then he didn't have any sort of plan or scheme with the others to defraud people of money. The way he could kind of frame that is to say, all right, maybe somebody invited me and they paid me a fee, and I got that fee. That's all I knew. Or if there's if the prosecutors have financial records of him receiving money, and again, these are allegations. If they have something like that, he could say, well, this is consistent with me winning at the poker game. I was there, I won money, and this is what I got. So he would essentially try to distance himself from the conspiracy by saying, I wasn't a part of this. I'm just there. I'm just what they're calling a face card is not me part of the thing. I was just there.
So basically, he was there, but he didn't know exactly what was going on around him.
And some of this plays out with what evidence they get, because